Welcome to Poetry Changes Lives, my book of poetry, history, and a thought for the day. Well, on this day in 1837, the talented but troubled poet Algernon Charles Swinburne was born. Swinburne was an Englishman, well-born and clever, a young man who did well at Oxford and able to live a fairly leisured life. He spent much of his childhood up north in Northumberland and regarded this as his spiritual home. Poems he wrote, such as Grace Darling, are about this area of the country. He was a well-liked member of the pre-Raphaelite circle, and his poetry was considered quite daring at the time, especially his homage to lesbianism and homosexuality. A rebellious and excitable figure, his alcoholism eventually got the better of him, and he spent the last 30 years of his life living quietly and writing little in the care of a man called Theodore Watts, who was a close friend and a doctor in Putney, southwest London. It was said of Watts that he saved the man but killed the poet. Well, Swinburne was also an Algerlaniac, one who derives sexual pleasure and arousal from physical pain. That's a bit of a sort of troubled personality there, I think. This shows in some of Swinburne's poetry, like this one I'm going to read now. See what you think of this. It's quite sort of vivid imagery here. There was a graven image of desire, painted with red blood on a ground of gold, passing between the young men and the old, and by him pain, whose body shone like fire, and pleasure, with gaunt hands that grasped their hire. Of his left wrist, with fingers clenched and cold, the insatiable satiety kept hold, walking with feet unshod that pushed the mire, the senses and the sorrows and the sins, and the strange loves that suck the breasts of hate, till lips and teeth bite in their sharp indenture, followed like beasts with flap of wings and fins. Death stood aloof behind a passing grate, upon whose lock was written peradventure. That's quite a powerful but strange poem. Today I remember that I seek spiritual progress, not spiritual perfection. Thank you for listening.